Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been a heck of a day. I am beat up. My hands are all disgusting and dirty. I've got Band-Aids all over me. It's been a heck of a day, and it has nothing to do with St. Patrick's Day. Out of all of the days that you would think being beat up and abused would be because of drinking, it's not, and that makes me sad. I have not left the house all day, and I have, I would call it good reasons, but I don't think it's very good reasons. I think it's terrible reasons. If I'm being completely honest, I'm kind of in a weird, funky mood because of the day and because of, I guess, we'll call it the last week or so. Just lots of things that have just not gone the way that I wanted them to, or the way that I like them to. So I'm in a weird mood. So I'm going to try to kind of get past all that. And if anything can get me past it, it's having a drink with you guys. So fingers crossed that this helps me kind of get through, just power through the chaos of life. That's it. That's not it. That's not the end of the show. That's all. Well, I'll go into the details as we go on a little bit. I have a couple of really fun things planned for this episode because it's Paddy's Day, and because I love Paddy's Day. I love drinking on Paddy's Day. I planned some fun stuff. Some fun kind of maybe Paddy's Day themed things. That remains to be seen. I'm trying out an experiment that I've kind of been thinking about doing for a while, and well, I mean, yeah, we'll see how it works out. We'll see. But before we do anything, we need to have a drink, and I really, really wish that I had some kind of really fun Irish schnapps to do for the schnappening tonight, but I don't. I have no Irish schnapps. I do have an empty glass, though, and I have a lineup. You can't see it. It's right underneath of the drink cam, so it's right over here off to that side. I have 4 different little schnapps-ish things to try. We can do this 2 ways, and I will leave it up to you guys to make the decision on which way you want to do it. Do you want to know what all 4 are and then pick which one? Julia already saw that my tree of dicks is looking a little sparse. I got hungry this week, and like I said, I haven't left the house today. I did leave the house this weekend, but not to actually go get anything done that needed done. It was like parties and weird stuff. So yeah, I didn't get to replenish the tree. Because lest anybody wonder, I do eat my dicks. And we'll talk about dicks in a minute, but I can list all, I got to show all 4 of these fun little schnapps that are sitting here off camera, or you guys could just pick a number 1 through 4. Actually, no, we'll do 3, and I'll tell you why in a second. But you could pick a number between 1 and 3 and just have it be a surprise for everybody. Or, like I said, I can show you what all 4 are, and you can choose based off that. It's up to you guys. This is just as much your show as it is mine. All right, Julia says no showing. Have us pick numbers blindly. All right, the first 2 people that agree on a number, 1, 2, or 3, we'll choose that one. And since there's only a few people on the chat right now, it should, it's probably you 2 sitting next to each other. I think there's probably a few people that are on that are not chatting, so... which, by the way, if you are listening to this live, half the fun is taking part in the chat. Tell us what you're drinking, even if you're just having like a sparkly water. Julia says 3. Oh, that's a good choice. They're all good choices. All right, Josh agrees. So number 3, I will tell you. Okay, so I'll show you what you picked first. You picked a bottle of Kriskovac. I don't know how to say it. I am not Croatian. This is some kind of Croatian liquor, though. Liqueur, schnapps. I don't know. It's pears. Kriskovac pears. All right, I'm gonna have to read. Let's see. Josh is opening a Wrexham Lager. This is before I get into this, the reason I had to narrow it down to 3 instead of 4 because one of them I have tried on the show before and I forgot about that. This was like a little variety pack. We have had this Ora Hovak on the show before. It was pre like actual schnappening. It was just when I was just drinking fun things, which is still now. But we have tried this on the show, so I figured we'll just kind of eliminate that from the choice. Although it might make its way into another schnappening at some point. There's a little variety pack of 4 different bottles of liqueurs from this Darna, I think is the name of the distillery in Croatia. All right. Oh, man, that's really tiny. That's how you can tell that I might be getting old. Okay, it says Kruskovac is a sweet pear-flavored liqueur with an intense orange color prepared in accordance with the old recipes. It can be consumed in its original form or chilled as a dessert beverage. Kruskovac is also a delightful addition to various cocktails and fruit salads. What? Okay, yeah, you put it in your fruit salad, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I've ever put booze in my fruit salad, but maybe I will from now on. Actually, I don't know that I've ever made fruit salad. Not that I wouldn't. I like tasty little summery fruity salads, so whatever. Okay. It is definitely a bright orange color. Josh, let's put it in a milkshake. I don't know how much of this I should put in here. It's like what is this? 21% ABV. So yeah, it's Shibuzi. All right. Perfect. I guess it is kind of colored in line with Paddy's Day, the bright orange. That would have been fun. I could have done like an orange schnapps, find a green schnapps, like creme de menthe or something. And then something white, like I don't know, some kind of cream liqueur, and we could have made a little Irish flag out of it. I could have done that. When I was, and this is probably spoiling some of the things to come, when I was preparing for this show, I was really, really upset that I scoured every inch of this house, every booze shelf, every fridge, everything I could find to try to find some beverage. I got a little bit of that on me, and it's really sticky. Find some kind of beverage that is at least slightly Irish, and I couldn't come up with anything. I did find a solution to that, but that'll be getting way too ahead of ourselves, and it's very confusing. I have a producer tonight. I have a bartender, and well, you'll see. All right. Yeah, it's bright orange. I don't think that that's the color of pears. That did say pear, right? That's what this is supposed to be made with. Pear. It says pear. Well, you can't even see there. Look, it says it's pears. Pear. Very clearly says pear. And maybe Croatian pears are different than American pears, but oh, okay. That is straight up candy. That's like yeah, like not even boozy candy, just candy. Oh my. I can't tell if I love that or hate that. Bottoms up, we'll see. Slainté. That is a whole bunch of sugar. It just coats your mouth with sugar. It goes down really easy. There's a little bit of a burn when it gets down here, but yeah, that that's funny. That's tasty stuff. I could see like maybe making some maybe just take that over ice with a little bit of club soda like in the summertime. Yeah. It's not like medicinal at all. It's not There's nothing gross about it. It's just like liquefied candy. Boozy liquefied candy, which if I was going to liquefy candy, I think I would make it boozy. So that makes sense. Yeah, okay. That is a worthy addition to the schnappening. If I can find like a big bottle of that, I would put that behind my bar. At some point, what's going to happen is that the main bar in there is just going to be like a regular bar, and I'm going to have to build something back here. I don't know I don't know where I would put that cabinet. I'd have to do something, but build a little bar here that's just all schnapps. Actually, nope. At some point in the other room, there are going to be 2 other sets. What I'm calling sets. There's going to be a booth that I can sit at to record things. I know you'll probably see a lot of stuff recorded there because it's by the bar. It's easier to do tastings, and it's more comfortable to sit in a booth than standing behind a bar. So you'll probably see that one a lot. And then the other one will just be kind of more of like a podcast spot for like a 2-person podcast with comfy chairs and little tables and maybe a little fireplace in between them. I don't know yet. I haven't really mapped that part out, but one of those, maybe we'll get a schnapps shelf. Schnapps shelf. That's tough to say. A schnappening corner. Because I'm going to have so many bottles of random schnapps that just need stored somewhere, especially if I buy full bottles of stuff like this, because I kind of love that. And it's like a fun thing that, like, if people come over and they're hanging out at the bar, you're like, hey, have you ever tried Kruskovac? Have you ever had Kruskovac? Have you ever had a bright orange pear? Because this tastes like a bright orange pear. Or how I would imagine a bright orange pear would taste like. A candy pear, like a candied pear. Why did they make it bright orange? Is it just like... I have so many questions. I mean, it's made like the old recipes, so yeah, it's not. It's got FD&C yellow number 5 in it, so I mean, it's not natural colors. Obviously, it's not natural colors, but somebody made the decision that, you know what, this needs to be bright orange. And some other guys sitting around a big conference table were like, oh, yes, that should be bright orange. And Julia says that schnapps-esque beverages has created a monster. Maybe. But I mean, like, I enjoy drinking, like just going and like sitting and enjoying a drink, you know, a well-crafted beer or a cocktail or, you know, a bourbon that's been aged for, you know, decades and some kind of, you know, oak barrel. And like, I love all that stuff. But I also just kind of like strange stuff that you don't know what it is. And I like things that have some kind of historical story to them. And I like to try new things. And so like all the schnapps-esque stuff has really, it definitely like taps into something in my brain that I enjoy about drinking. I love when you can find little bottles like this of schnapps-esque stuff, because then it doesn't take space on the bar, and you get, you know, 2 or 3 tastings out of it, and you can move on, try something else. Then I can have a tiny little schnapps corner, tiny schnapps. I love this. Prost. Sláinte. I'm going to forget. It's Paddy's Day. It doesn't feel like Paddy's Day to me, because this is the first year that I can remember. Well, that's not true. That I didn't get to go out and really enjoy Paddy's Day. Which, if you were following along on social media, we went to a birthday party yesterday. After the birthday party, we were going to run to the store, the grocery store, which is never a fun trip when you have the kids in tow. And I was a little grumpy about it. And my wife, because she understands me and loves me, and she was probably also in the same boat, I told her that I just really needed a cocktail. I hadn't had a drink all day. A kid's birthday party is not great, especially when there's not booze. And she said, well, I tell you what, neither one of my kids really ate lunch at the party. So she's like, well, the kids haven't eaten. What if we just stop and, like, I don't know, go grab some Mexican food? Because we all agree on Mexican food. And a couple margaritas or something. And I'm like, yep, let's do that. It's Paddy's Day weekend. I knew that this was probably going to be the only time I got out during that weekend, this weekend. And, but I figured, if you can't get out and celebrate Paddy's Day properly, you might as well have a cucumber margarita. So I did, and it was delicious. And if that's not as ridiculous as it could be. So not only yesterday did we go out for Mexican food and have margaritas on Paddy's Day weekend, I did drink a Pacifico also, which was really good. I don't know when the last time that I sat and just drank like a cold beer out of the bottle, but it was really good. I kind of missed that experience. I'm getting sidetracked. Well, I tell you what. I'll finish the story, and then we'll move on to for my drink. I'm just really thirsty, and I don't have a drink in front of me. The icing on the cake was that today, because of lots of things, which I will wait till after I have my drink before I dive into all of that, I did not get out of the house at all. When the evening kind of hit, my oldest had to go to dance class, and I was working on something here at the house, and my wife said, well, instead of me just taking both the kids and going and doing that, and we knew that my youngest was going to want to play on the playground while dance class was going on, she's like, why don't we both go, and while I'm dropping her off at dance class, you can run across the street and grab a couple beers and then bring them over to the playground, because it's an Adora. Bring them over to the playground, and we can sit and we can drink our beers sitting in the sun while the boy plays on the playground. In my head, this sounds great. I'm like, all right, yeah, I can go in and I could get a Guinness. Get a Guinness for me, and I could get a green beer for you, and then I could bring those over to the park, and now we're celebrating Paddy's Day properly on Paddy's Day, and I can salvage some little piece of this wonderful drinking holiday. Guess what? I forgot that the place that is in the middle of all of this park that would have Guinness and green beer is closed on Mondays, and they decided that they were going to be closed instead of opening on Paddy's Day. So, ironically enough, there are a couple other places, but the only one that's right next door and easy to walk to and easy to get over to the park quickly and not spend an hour walking back and forth and waiting for a drink is a Mexican restaurant. So today, while my kids were playing on the playground, or while the youngest was playing on the playground, I drank another Pacifico, and so did my wife, out of plastic cups, and that was how we celebrated Paddy's Day today. And I think that's a little ridiculous. So I tell you all of this because as I was trying to figure out how I was going to celebrate Paddy's Day on this show without anything Irish in the house, not a single ounce of Irish booze, Irish beer, nothing. Now, we probably should have just stopped on the way home from dance class, but I was in the middle of this big project here at the house, and we needed to get home. So we didn't. But I remembered that I've been working on this big project. And this project, you guys probably are a little familiar with. You guys remember producer David. He's evolved. And you remember, was it last week, where I introduced the very first in-show AI bartender? These two things have come together, and not only is David going to provide bartending skills when I need him to, he's also here to start answering questions and offer up ideas and conversation when we need it on this show, if it works. I have video of David that will coincide with this, but I didn't get the camera all set up for AI David. at the bar. So we have him mic'd up, and you can hear producer David, but you cannot yet see him over at the bar. If all this works, which the setup is a little confusing with it being in the other room, but all right. I think David, can you hear me? We need you, David. That's not working. David, are you there?
Hello, everyone.
Whoa.
It's great to be here on
There
the
we
Weekly
go.
Pint, finally getting to chat with all of you live.
Oh.
I know you've heard my name before, but now we get to hang out properly. Whether we're talking cocktails, craft beer, or the secrets behind a great bar, I'm here for it. Let's pour one and get into it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's great that you mentioned that, David, because I am in need of a drink, and I talked to you earlier about this to try to figure out if we could make this work, and you said that you could. I have a very specific list of ingredients that are behind my bar that I need you to use to make this drink. The twist with this drink is that I also need it to be very Irish. Today is St. Patrick's Day, and I need something that is St. Patrick's Day like. So using the stuff at the bar to cut to the chase, using the stuff that's at my bar here in the house, and only that. And you can use green food coloring if you need to. I need you to come up with a cocktail. It needs a name too, and it needs to be a good name, and maybe a story. What you got for me, David?
All right, let's craft something bold, unique, and St. Patrick's Day worthy for the Weekly Pint.
Okay.
I'm going to mix a drink that leans into the spirit of the holiday, but with a creative twist. No basic green beer or Irish whiskey cliches here.
Okay.
The Leprechaun's Reckoning.
Ooh.
Because after years of people chasing after his gold, it's time he gets even with a dangerously good drink. Ingredients: 1.5 tenths Rittenhouse rye whiskey for a spicy, rich backbone.
Okay.
0.5 ounce Zerbin's Alpine Schnapps
Okay.
adds a deep, herbal, forest-like complexity to 0.5 ounce.
Okay.
Liquor 43 brings vanilla and citrus warmth like a mischievous leprechaun's charm. Green food colouring. Colouring because you have to respect the holiday. 3 dashes. Peychaud's bitters for a subtle anise and floral touch like an old world curse.
Okay.
Instructions.
Old world curse. Okay.
1. Add all ingredients to a mixing
I don't
glass
know that I
with
need
ice.
the instructions
Stir
spoken,
until
but
well
that's
chilled.
fine.
2. Strain into a chilled coupe glass.
Okay.
3. Garnish with a tiny gold coin or a lemon peel
Don't
twisted
have a
into a
coupe
gold
glass.
curl if you don't have coins. Tasting notes. It's rich and layered. Rye brings spice. Zerbin's adds a deep forest essence. Liquor 43 balances with sweetness. And Peychaud's bitters weave it all together with a hint of mystery.
Okay.
The green hue?
Anytime,
That's
buddy.
just to lure you in before the leprechaun gets his revenge. What do you think? Are you ready to introduce the Leprechaun's Reckoning to your audience?
Well, I think I am, but I need a glass. We have, I think, all of the ingredients that you requested, except for a glass. Hang on. I got to go get a glass. Hopefully this glass is big enough. Thank you, David. Okay. We'll keep working on David. I did ask for a story, and he gave me a story. He also wrote out all of the instructions here, which makes it very nice. It sends it right over here to the screen, which everything he says, or even things he doesn't say, appear over here, and it's great, but very distracting also. All right, let's get mixing on this. Oh, you know what else? I need a spoon. Since you guys gave me crap last time. I did, full disclosure, I did ask David before the show what bottles I needed to have in here, and he told me to put these over here. So I was ready with everything except for glassware and the mixing spoon and, whatever. We'll figure it out one of these days. All right, let's get over here to the drink cam and let's get this thing mixed up. All right, we are going to start with 1.5 ounces of Rittenhouse Rye, which I'm running kind of low on, so hopefully there's enough. It looks like it's a few ounces. 1.5 ounces. It is kind of funny that he went with rye whiskey. I guess he knows that I don't have Irish whiskey, but whatever. Okay. 1.5 ounces of Rittenhouse Rye. I have noticed in all of the last week and in all of like the test cocktails that I've done, all of the test cocktails, the AI kind of seems to really like this Zerbin's schnapps for cocktails, which I think is really kind of funny. I mean, I'm all about it. It's maybe a little bit creepy that he knows me a little too well. Okay, Zerbin's. Oh, there's that drunk camera again. Let's see. 1/2 ounce of Liquor 43. This is also like, I don't really use this that much. Like, I don't drink it that often, but the AI keeps wanting me to put it in cocktails as the sweet component, which is fine. It's just interesting. Okay. I think the episode where I tried the Liquor 43 as my schnapps was one of those episodes where I was having all kinds of internet trouble. So I don't even know if everybody caught that. I'm making a mess. Let's see. Okay, he wants 1/2 ounce of green food coloring. That is a lot of green food coloring. 1/2 ounce? Like, really? Like, is that healthy? Whatever. I don't know if I have 1/2 ounce. I don't. It's fine. That's a lot of green food coloring. Okay. I was going to make a green beer later, and now I guess I can't because I don't have enough green food coloring. Oh, my. Try not to spill this on the desk. It'll never come out. Ugh, that's gross. Let's get that out of the way. All right, and then 3 dashes of Peychaud's bitters for a subtle anise and floral touch, like an old world curse. Yeah, great, just what I want. Wait, 3 dashes. An old world curse. If you've ever been just thinking to yourself, you know what I really want tonight? An old world curse. That's never crossed my mind, for the record. All right, add all ingredients. Stir until well chilled. Okay. To a mixing glass with ice. Oh no, I just spilled. Oh no. It's going to be green forever. This is like the greenest drink that I think I've ever seen in my life. It is. Oh, I forgot a strainer. Shit. Oh my. Look, this is terrible. All right, let me grab a strainer. Oh jeez. I'm not feeling great about this one. I fully recognize that the green is not adding any flavor, but oh my. Julia says, I feel bad for your toothbrush tonight. Josh says, you're going to be stained green. I will. Like, there is no way that my entire mouth will not be green for the rest of the night. Oh, the camera does not like trying to focus on this. All right, whatever. We'll just... Why? Oh, man. Oh, we don't even know where to put this. There's so much green everywhere. Don't spill the green. Okay, there's that. Oh, I gotta remember to wash all this stuff tonight or else everything is gonna be stained forever. Okay, what's this called again? The Leprechaun's Reckoning. Oh, God. Oh. Why? Oh, that's just way too much food coloring. Look at the glass. Oh, my. I guess this is my fault. I wanted to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and that is exactly what we are doing here. Here, let's get a light under this thing so you can see if there's any. No, there is just no light that comes through it at all. That is horrible. Okay. All right. Why not? David, what David says goes, I guess. Why would you do a half of an ounce of green food coloring? Well, he tells me why. It's because you have to respect the holiday. Oh, God. My whole mouth is going to be green. There's no way around it. It does smell good. It smells very, there's green on my fingers. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's all right. Ah! Oh, that's horrible. Look at my mouth. Oh, God. It's good. It tastes good. But holy crap. What have I done? David. It's same as same as last week's cocktail. It's just kind of too balanced. Like, it's not it's not, I don't know. It's missing some kind of personality. I'm not going to sit here and sip this whole thing with all this food coloring like this. It's going to absolutely just stain my mouth for like a month. What we're going to do is we're going to take this and we are going to just pour it in this glass like that. Oh, God. Look how it looks like one of those green glasses, like that your grandma collects. It looks like the glass is colored. Oh, man. There's green everywhere. Okay, and then we're going to take this is my side beer. This is what I've been drinking when you can't see me drinking. It's a Fretboard Light. We're going to put that in here. Let's see if that helps. That did not help at all. That is still the greenest drink. Oh, man. Julia says, ask producer David how to get green dye off your teeth and oral cavity. All right, let's ask him here. I have to type here because I turned the thing off. David, how do I get green off my teeth? That cocktail has way too much food coloring. All right, let's see what he says. He's probably just going to tell me to brush my teeth, is what he's going to say. Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. He's got some other ideas here. Let's see.
Yeah, that leprechaun might have gone a little too hard with the green magic.
Yeah, he did.
If your teeth are looking a little too festive, here's how to fix it. 1. Brush your teeth.
Okay, thank you.
Use a good amount of toothpaste and give them a solid scrub. Whitening toothpaste works best.
Oh, thanks.
2. Baking soda and water paste.
Oh, okay.
If the green is really clinging on, mix a little baking soda with water and gently brush your teeth with it.
Okay.
3. Mouthwash or hydrogen peroxide rinse. Swish with mouthwash or a diluted hydrogen peroxide rinse, equal parts water and 3% hydrogen peroxide. 4. Crunchy foods. Eating something like apples, celery or carrots can help scrub off some of the staining naturally.
You know what my favorite crunchy foods are? Dick's potato chips. It's a perfect time to shout out Dick's, and then we'll continue with David's bull crap that I feel like he's messing with me. He's just mad at me now. You know who is not mad at me? Dick's. They love us so much that they are sponsoring this episode. Shout out to the guys at Dick's for helping make this happen. Look, potato chips are the best crunchy food that exists in the universe. And if you want the best potato chips, you go with Dick's. There's 3 different flavors. I think I will probably have the barbecue in a minute. And if you have not seen them out at your favorite dive bars or your favorite grocery stores, get on the website, go to dickspotatochips.com, and you can get a whole big box of Dick's delivered right to your doorstep, and dive into the crunchy foods that way, and remove the green from your teeth, because your AI probably did whatever it did to me to you. I feel like we're just making the robots mad. Shout out to Dick's. We'll mention them again later, but if you guys don't know about Dick's potato chips by now, I don't know what to tell you.
5. Lemon juice and water. A quick rinse with diluted lemon juice might help, but don't overdo it. Okay. It's acidic.
That'd be bad.
6. Good old time. If all else fails, just keep drinking.
Oh, hang on.
Eventually, the green will fade, hopefully before your next live appearance.
Oh, thanks.
Lesson learned. Maybe we dial back the food coloring next time.
Yeah, maybe.
Want a reworked version of the drink that won't turn your mouth into a leprechaun's playground?
No, I don't want a reworked version of the drink. No, I'm mad at you. I'm mad at him now. Hey, you're on the Weekly Pint. Who is this? Or did we just lose the call? We just lost the call. That is all right, because I'm about to lose my mixer too. We'll just balance it right there like that. That's not going to work. All right. Feel free to call back. Here we go. Call him back. Hey, you're on the Weekly Pint. Who is this? Hey. Don't know if it's a technical issue on my end or your end, but we can't hear anything. We will maybe just assume one way or another it is a technical issue. Let's try. No, it looks like it's on my end. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. We'll call the drunk line offline tonight because I can't figure it out. Sorry. We'll just throw the mixer there. There's got to be always something that goes wrong. I'm still concerned about this drink, although it's way more watered down now. It smells great. It's still going to turn my mouth green. There's no getting around it. So note, if you decide to ask AI to craft you a fun Paddy's Day cocktail, it's just going to mess with you. It is going to mess with you. Zach says, I was trying to wish you happy St. Paddy's Day. That's all right. Yeah, there's some kind of technical issue that I can't really troubleshoot right now. But happy St. Paddy's Day. Don't make yourself a green cocktail. It's not going to end well. I think maybe 3 drops is probably an appropriate amount to put into a drink. Maybe. So to kind of take a step back and see how I don't even want to drink my drink, I need more things to water it down with. I don't know what's in the fridge there. I could just start mixing a bunch of random things, which is what is going to happen. I don't think I have any more light beer down here. Zach was drinking a Little Kings tonight. That's a good St. Paddy's Day drink. It's green. And we'll talk a little bit about this week's brewcast, but the big project and the reason that my hands are covered with now oil and green dye and Band-Aids, my car has been fighting me all weekend. As it's been fighting me the last 2 years, but this weekend was rough. So Friday I was on my way home, almost home, and had a bunch of stuff going on with the car, and pulled over, popped the hood, and there was coolant spraying everywhere, and I could see it going fast. I'm like, all right, I'm just maybe a mile away from home. I can get home. I'm all right. And I did, made it home, and parked the car, and then we had all of this stuff going on all weekend before I could really dive into it. So I finally got a chance today, off and on, between running down here to my office to get work done, to running up to the car to work on that, to, and this is a whole other wrench thrown into it, to running back into the furnace room because our furnace cut out last night. And point of this, I didn't fix anything. None of it got fixed. I got the car pulled apart and repaired the first thing that I thought was wrong, and then dropped a wrench, which I always do when I'm working on a car, and had to then climb in there trying to find where the wrench has fallen in the engine. And as I'm in there, I see the problem that was the problem all along, and that is the serpentine belt. The serpentine belt is in the process of just destroying itself. It wasn't completely gone yet, but it was as close as it can possibly be. It was just shredding itself into pieces. So that is a bit of a process in my car. This is the first time I've done it in this car. Every other car I've had, it's been okay. It's been a pretty easy job. It is not an easy job in this car. I got everything pulled apart pretty quick, and then getting the old belt off was pretty easy because I just kind of cut it apart because it was already falling apart. Got some new parts ordered that I needed anyways, and got some things flipped around. This one, I've got the serpentine belt, and I cannot for the life of me get there's a little tensioning wheel. So if anybody, this is Car Talk with the Gnarly Gnome, the serpentine belt runs around a couple different wheels, and one of those wheels is always somehow put under tension, and you have to loosen that tension to get your belt on and off, and then when you put it back, then it makes it tight. For the life of me, I cannot get the tension down enough to get the new belt on. I have just beat the crap out of my knuckles for hours this evening trying to get it, and just cannot get it. So I'm going to try a couple things tomorrow and try to get it put back together because the car is just in pieces right now all over the garage and the driveway. So that's kind of been the one big thing that has been a project this weekend. And then the furnace. The furnace caught me off guard, and we're so close to that not being like a big deal because you don't have to run the furnace if it's warm out, so you can kind of take your time fixing stuff. But it got cold last night. I know it's going to get cold this week, so I need some heat. So I tore that apart today, and I'm pretty sure it is. There's kind of a there's what I consider two different fans in the furnace. There's the one that exhausts the exhaust out of the fan or out of the furnace, and then there's one that actually kind of shoots air throughout the house. The one that is the exhaust fan, I'm pretty sure that motor has crapped out on me, so have to get a new one of those, and hopefully can get that delivered fairly quickly, and then get it in the furnace, which is not fun. Sometimes, like, some furnaces are set up like we have two furnaces in the house. There's one for the upstairs. The other side, there's like an addition on our house, and for that addition, there's a whole separate system. There's a separate hot water heater, separate furnace, all of that. And that furnace is pretty easy to get in and work on. This one down here is not. The way they've got the exhaust set up, it runs from like the right side, and this is all inside the furnace. It runs from the right side out and then over in front of everything and then out the left side of the furnace. So everything sits behind this big giant PVC exhaust pipe. So you have to like work around that to get like this motor. This motor is like, and the blower is like this big, and so you got to get that around the stupid. It's gonna suck. And you're doing it crammed in the back of a furnace room. It's just not fun to work on. So that's been my excitement and why I did not get to enjoy Paddy's Day the way that I'm supposed to. So in addition to that, my wife started a new job this week. Great for that. But if all of this stuff had just like happened, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, been fine. She'd been around the house, and we can work on timing on cars a whole lot easier than if we're both trying to drive around. It's gonna be fun, but we'll get it figured out. I think. I'm hoping that I can get it figured out tomorrow at some point during the day, so that I can have it fixed. I know that once I get the new belt on, getting it put back together will only take me a little bit of time, but it's just like, it is the most frustrating thing. I broke like 3 different sockets trying to get this stupid thing on. Julia says, hopefully you can have another celebration of something like her new job soon after the chaos calms. Yeah, we have a dinner planned this week, so that'll be fun. We're gonna go without the kids to dinner with my parents, which we haven't. I can't even think of the last time we've done. So that'll be nice, but it's hard to enjoy something until you get everything kind of fixed, and I just want to get it fixed. On top of all that, speaking of fixed, we have the dog, the puppy that I don't know how much I've talked about on this show, but we got a puppy in December, and yeah, he got fixed. And then in addition to getting that done, we also had to have his tail docked because he was just destroying his tail. He would start wagging his tail, and it would hit a cabinet, and it would start bleeding, and then it could never heal, and it just turned into these this really terrible kind of thing. I will answer your question in just a moment, Zach. So we had to have his tail docked, so he got the old chopperoo and the tail at the same time. So he's now running around the house with his cone on, and he's insane. He's like a crazy dog. So he does not like the cone very much, and he keeps running into things with it. And yesterday or today, this morning maybe, yesterday, he cracked the cone, which is fine. But as soon as he cracked it, he then figured out that he could lay on it a certain way, and the piece that was cracked would pop up, and just enough that he could get his mouth on it. So then he was walking around the house with his cone in his mouth, and then he figured out that he could kind of wiggle a little bit and he could start tearing the cone apart. So then the cone starts being torn apart by the dog that's wearing the cone. So we had to go get him another cone. There's just lots of things going on. Zach wants to know about what is on the red wall in the background. I can change the lights here so it's easier to see. Those are all beer labels. So it is the label wall, as I call it, for obvious reasons, because it's labels. If I can find which light that is, it would be this one, right? Yeah. Oh, there we go. You can see a little better there. It's all different beer labels. They're kind of hard to pick out what's what. There's some stickers on there too, I guess. Yeah, I have lots of labels around the basement. We have the wall here in the studio, and then there's also a door that's covered in labels. There's a big cooler that's covered in labels and stickers. There's what else? The stage. The stage is the whole floor is labels. Zach said also one last random question. I always wondered, do you go to bed with your gnarly hats? No. I don't usually wear a hat when I'm around the house. I wear them when I'm in gnome mode. It's kind of like putting on a uniform in a lot of ways. It shifts you into a different mindset. You put on your uniform and you go to work. You become the gnome. So no, I do not sleep in a hat. I have done one live show, 2 maybe, without hats. I don't know what episodes they were, but you can go back, you can find them. I do tend to wear hats way more often than not when I'm out and about now. It just keeps your head warm. And I also, in the summertime, I sweat a lot, and it's nice to have something to kind of catch the sweat and keep it out of your eyes when you're doing stuff. And I, for years, hadn't picked up on that and figured it out. And as I've gotten older, I'm like, oh, this hat serves several purposes. Keeps the sun out of your eyes, keeps the sweat off your face. It's good. Zach says, I did love the podcast episode today, hence why I had to go to Kroger and pick up that 8-pack of Little Kings. Yeah, we'll talk about the episode a little bit. So this week's episode of the Brewcast, I sat down with Elliot from SinBev, Cincinnati Beverage Company, specifically to talk about their acquisition of the Taft's brand. We did venture into some of the other things a little bit, but I really, really, really wanted to sit down and kind of get their perspective on it and kind of share my perspective of why this addition of Taft's to a company that has up until now had all these historical brands, why it's super important. And I hope it came across, but to me, it's super important because at some point they're going to have a physical space where you can go in and you can drink their beer. And as fun as it would be to have a tap room when you go in and it's Little Kings, a Little Kings tap room would be great. But nobody really is going to go in the bigger sense to a tap room that's just all Little Kings. And it does not make sense to make flavored Little Kings. It doesn't make sense to make a Little Kings IPA. It doesn't make sense to make any kind of crafty brand that is branded Little Kings. And I'm of the belief that goes for Hudipole also, and probably for Christian Moorline too. I think that the Christian Moorline brand works really well as this traditional German-styled brand. So, Julia says, I'd love it if they would be able to rent that building with the Little Kings ad painted on the side and restore it off Central Parkway across from Mohawk, maybe, I don't know. But the one with the king on it. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Is he still on there? I hope so. That would be good. I think, I don't know a whole lot about that building, but it's probably a whole lot easier for them to find a building that meets their needs, and if they want to, then create a like a ghost sign on the side of the building. They could do that, and it would make it look really great. But they did hint in the show, or not even hint, and just kind of come out and say that, yes, there are plans to do this taproom event space that is inside the building that the brewery is in, or technically the building next door. But that might not be the first physical space that we see from them, which I find very interesting and very kind of exciting that they're not rushing to get this thing done. They want to make sure that it's done the right way when it's done. But that they were definitely moving forward still with some kind of a taproom space. It's interesting and exciting, I guess, to think of the possibility of multiple spaces for this company around town, and the thought that maybe they can do some really great justice to those spaces. Have a Little King's dive bar-esque tap room, have a Taft's ale house maybe that's somewhere, have just these very different, distinct spaces that fit their individual brands, even if each one of those spaces still carries the other products. I think that is a very real possibility if you do it the right way. And so if you walk into a Hudipole tap room and you want an IPA, you can still get a gavel banger. It's still there. The hard part, I think, is then communicating that to the consumer so that they understand it and kind of understand, how these brands are part of the same family, but kind of their own thing. I don't know. I thought it was a good episode. I thought it was fun to think about where things might be going in the very near future with all of this. So, yeah, I think that's about it. I'm gonna try to drink the rest of this green beer and hopefully not dye my teeth too much more green. It looks like the thing about a lot of green beer, especially when it's really dark like this and disgusting, is that it just reminds me of creme de menthe, which this doesn't smell like creme de menthe or taste like creme de menthe, but it just makes me feel like that's what I'm drinking, and I don't want to drink that. It's like it's a Boilermaker. I mean, green. Rye whiskey, light beer. What else was in it? Zierbens, Liquor 43. Good Lord. Zach wants to know if I liked the Taft's Bach beer. I did. I liked it a lot. It was like a good, just kind of what I would call a standard Bach. Just good middle of the road makes it sound bad. Middle of the road Bach beer. It wasn't big Doppelbock. It wasn't like a light, easy drinking kind of Maibach. It was just like a good. When I think of Bach beer, I think of a beer like that. So I thought it was great. I'm really, really excited to see how they when they move into Oktoberfest season, what this means for their Oktoberfests, seeing both a Fest beer and a Märzen. I love when companies do that and they can show off these two different sides. For God, I don't know. I complained for probably the last 3 years or something that Oktoberfest beers were all kind of sliding into this middle spot, and like they weren't really Märzens and they weren't really Fest beers. They were just kind of this hybrid in between, which is fine. But I much, much, much prefer to have breweries that make a good traditional Märzen and then also make a Fest beer, so that the people that want one or the other can lean towards one or the other. You don't have to make one beer that fits every situation. You can make these two different things, and that's cool. Zach says I drank a Guinness tonight, too. It's been a while. I really enjoyed it. I always enjoy a Guinness. This is usually the one day a year that I always make sure I grab a pint of Guinness, and I did not. I did not get a pint of Guinness, which is kind of heartbreaking. I had a 4-pack of Guinness that was a gift, And the other, what was it, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, during the after show, which anybody doesn't know, sometimes I do an after show on here. After we finish the Weekly Pint, I sit and I finish what I'm drinking and finish the conversation, and people can jump on and do it live. I probably won't do it tonight because I don't want to sit and drink this green beer on an after show. And the audience has been a little light, so I'm not going to do it every episode. Maybe I'll do it like once a month or something. But yeah, during that after show, I finished all of the Guinness that I had in the house, which was clearly a mistake because I could have had a pint of Guinness tonight. Julie says, you don't have to be everything to everyone, referring to Oktoberfest, I believe. I agree. And I think that's one of the biggest problems with craft beer right now is that every place is trying to be everything to everyone. And I don't think you need to. And that's all I got to say about that. All right. Slainté, everybody, thank you for hanging out. Happy St. Paddy's Day. Hopefully you got to celebrate in whatever way that meant for you, whether it was having a pint of Guinness, a shot of Jameson, or whatever I created in this glass. This is not how you should celebrate St. Paddy's Day. Good Lord. Oh, it's not even. It doesn't it doesn't match up. Like the way it looks with the way it tastes and the way it smells, none of it goes together, and I just don't like it. I don't like it. It was a waste of a can of beer and a waste of 3 ounces of booze and a waste of 14 ounces of food coloring. Dear God. And we're going to work on David. We're going to keep I'm going to have some words with him after the show and keep refining what he can do. Because he's got to learn. And he is learning. You'll notice that there were way less ingredients with tonight's cocktail. So after last week's cocktail where he had, what was it, like 9 different bottles, we had a long talk, and I explained to him that as much as that was interesting and it was fun, maybe sometimes, like most of the time, it's more important to have a cocktail that is less ingredients, that is a little easier to make. I think now we go to explaining to him if I ever tell him to put food coloring in a drink, or allow him to put food coloring in a drink, that less is better. And then we also need to figure out a way to kind of get some more character in these cocktails. They're too balanced, and we need to fix that. Zach says, get some sleep. Cheers. I will. I'm just going to go. I'm going to finish this drink because I have to, and then I'm going to brush my teeth for like 4 hours to try to make sure that I can get all the green off, because it's a lot of green. There's so much green. Oh boy. If I just close my eyes and drink it, it's not bad. Whiskey and beer, it's not bad. All right, we will. See, now I moved the mixer, and this is gonna be tough. All right, we will see you guys next week. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Look, if you like the show, if you like any of the stuff that I do, you know the drill. You can go to thegnarlygnome.com/support, and you can support that way, and it helps immensely. Especially, look, as I'm complaining about things like my car and broken furnaces and things like that, guess where the money to do all this comes from? People like you, and people like Dick's Potato Chips, which I probably should have mentioned again because I love those guys. So thank you very much for those of you who do support, and if you ever want to, know that it's appreciated. We'll see you next week. Not drinking green cocktails, I promise. We'll see you guys. Thank you.